And welcome back to the What the Falk podcast as we run through Sunderland's much needed 1-0 win over Millwall at the Stadium of Light. We're going to get straight to it because it's a bit late. It's been a nightmare getting back home. I can't really be bothered to do the podcast, but let's try. Let's try and do it. To join me, as always, is Sophie Bellwood. Sophie, how are you doing? Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. The win makes it all the better. It's just what we needed, isn't it? And it makes the weekend just even better after international break. I'm not bothered about international break, so I've been dying for club football to get back and go again. So
I
yeah.
think we needed just a crappy little 1-0 win or something like that, which is, look, I don't think it was a crappy 1-0 win, but we needed a win. It was not great before the break, and I've had a good day. Got to buy me brother his first ever legal alcoholic drink today in the Grange, which was nice, bless him. He had 2 pints and he was giggly and he was a little bit drunk. Look, I'll be on after 2 pints, bless him, and I'm kind of sort of jealous in that sense, but ultimately, I'm pleased the day was topped off with a win. That's what matters most. Ross, you've joined me as well. Look, we've had a couple of podcasts with and without you. Sophie's been on all of them because she's evergreen, and I can, trust in Sophie, unlike some is Dave, Pete. But look, I think we needed the win. I don't think it was the perfect performance. I don't think it was a bad performance either. I thought there was some really good things about it. But how are we doing? Are you okay? You well?
Yeah, I'm good. I think you covered it pretty much there. It was a weird game, wasn't it, where we always felt I always felt we were in control, but at 1-0 you're always like, this is Sunderland. You know what I mean? And it's kind of been our Achilles heel all season, the not getting that second goal early to put games to bed and put teams to bed. But yeah, some really good individual performances as well. And we've basically found out all along our right back cover was Alan Brown.
Yeah, aye, pretty much. I think you had a really good game today, but we'll get into individuals. I think there was some good individual performances. But before we do, like Sophie, I suppose the benefit of having those few hours of me traveling back on the train and stuff like that is we and you and me, we all get a bit of 4 or 5 hours to digest the result. Look, I know you're happy and you're buzzing like you said before, but now you've had a bit of time to digest it, get home, have your tea, have a cup of tea, cup of coffee. Like, how do you assess the performance in short?
I think that it was, look, it wasn't the best performance of the season. I actually think that we started really bright. I thought the 15, 20 minutes, I thought getting like, because I remember saying to my dad before the game, I said, I really want to see a good performance today. After kind of a couple of weeks of where the performance levels haven't been there, we haven't been the same team. The first 20 minutes, we looked like the team that we were at the start of the season, that the press was there. We were almost sitting off the ball, kind of going to Millwall, you break us down and we'll hit you on the counter. And we were moving the ball quick. But I think it was just one of them where, like you say, we just needed it. And it should have been put to bed earlier. Of course it should have. But it was a comfortable win. I mean, the last 10 minutes were a bit shaky, but like Ross said, we were always in control of the game. I never thought that Millwall bossed us or they would try to bully us. You could see how they set up because that's been our weakness of the season. But I'm pleased that we combated that and we looked like we gave a bit back to them. But I think it was just a job well done, and we take it, we move on, and form's so important now.
I don't think there's such a thing as a comfortable 1-0 win, but if there was, that was it. I felt like that was as
Absolutely.
comfortable a 1-0 win as you'll get. And I think, look, we've come against Alex Neil teams before and we've gone, oh, like he's just got something. He's just tactically quite astute in terms of winning games. It's not always pretty. Today, I don't think they are one of the worst sides in the league. I think far from it, but they looked poor today. And I think a lot of that was that first 20 minutes. I think Riggy led the press really well, which was nice to see because he's looked leggy for a couple of weeks, and it wasn't a perfect performance from Riggy either. It wasn't back to where he was at the start of the season, but it was better. And I felt like there was a lot of elements of that performance that were a lot better than what we've seen and closer to what we had, which bodes well for the next seven-ish games and hopefully then another three. But Ross, you've, like I say, had a bit of time to digest it as well. You've sat down. You haven't fallen asleep yet. You said you were going to. You haven't fallen asleep as yet. So just to keep you awake, I'll ask you a question. How are you feeling after you've had that few hours? Because I think when you win, you kind of just go brilliant, get in. But when you've had 4 or 5 hours, you do sit and think about the result a bit, don't you?
Yeah, I actually watched the highlights back again just before we did this, and It was weird because you look at the highlights package and you think, because they put a few of their chances in, but again, it was just the overall flow of the game. Their chances were like quick moves and it was done. You know what I mean? Whereas ours seems to come from continuous pressure, or as Sophie mentioned, we came out the traps. Like, that's probably the fastest we've started in ages. Um, and to be fair, I don't know if obviously in the championship, I'm lucky if I say about 4 or 5 games out on Sunderland, but I've never known a team to have keepers have so many blinders against us. I don't know if it just seems to me like keepers always seem to pull off worldy saves against us
Every
every
week.
game. Every week. Like, I don't know if it's just like the Sunderland fan like mentality where it's like, hey, it's every week, it's always us. But I never see Patterson turn into fucking Neuer every week. So it's got to be. You know what I mean? And to be fair, I'm going to give Patterson a shout out. I thought he was solid there and
Mhm.
coming off his line, much better.
Yeah,
Um,
I think Pato deserves a bit of praise too. We're going to get into the plays, but I agree.
mm,
Like, I think Pato was better today. I know there's a few people that are going to probably kick off at his kicking because there was a small period when he put the ball out of play twice in about a minute. But I thought his kicking was actually a bit better today. Like, credit where credit's due. Like, it was better, but look, he wasn't a standout performer. So I'm going to steal your thunder a bit here, Ross, and fire this one to Sophie. She gets first pick this week. Who's the place that stood out for you, Sophie? Because I thought there was quite a few good individual performances in a collectively decent team performance.
Funnily enough, I thought Alan Brown was
Yeah.
probably our best player today. I really did. I thought that Job was brilliant. Hume was obviously he's just magnificent. Hume. I absolutely love him. But I do think that Alan Brown not only did a job at right back, but you could see the calmness that he kind of instilled. That sometimes at points in this season we have looked a bit where we flap a bit at the back, and he was just that calming presence, particularly when you've got O'Nien who will do something mad, or you know what I mean, or maybe makes a lapse in judgment, decision making. But I thought he was brilliant. I thought Job looked back to his best. Hume. I think there were Dan Neil as well. I thought there was a lot of performances. Patrick Roberts, who didn't do kind of the star work, but I felt like off the ball and his movement into channels, I thought was outstanding today. I really did.
He was the standout for me with Roberts. He got his assist, but I still seen someone on Twitter. And look, everyone's entitled to their opinion. I'm not hammering anyone here for their opinion. The podcast wouldn't exist, and no podcast would exist, or a football one wouldn't exist without an opinion. So the person's always entitled to that opinion. But someone said, "Oh, I think Roberts only plays because we have no strength on the right hand side." I thought he was far from superb today. But if you look at his stats on that, he was the one I think he had the most dribbles. He got an assist today. But I think what people don't pick up with Roberts, because Roberts has the third most goals or assists, goal contributions, outside of Wilson and Mayenda. So when people say he doesn't create anything, well, the stats indicate that's very much not the case. He does. And if you go back to the start of the season, he could have probably had a few more if it wasn't for like Alan Brown kicking it in on the line against Pompey and stuff like that. But what always works for me, and something we talked about at the Cardiff game, when Roberts goes off, you lose someone who tracks back. Like Alan Brown could get forward a bit today because Roberts was supporting him. So he wasn't like having to just sit and defend all the time. He was able to kind of blend in with that midfield. It actually kind of worked, that Brown, Roberts, Riggy right hand side. Like it looked kind of at the start of the season a bit, and Hume would normally be there, but look, you touched on Hume. For me, I think he got a bit of sticks around sort of January, February time. For me, since New Year, has been phenomenal, been fantastic, and I think talk about players leaving in the summer, and there's a lot of chat around Job and Rig and all that. Terrifies me that Trey Hume could go. 'Cause I think he's excellent. I think he's superb. Look, let's just all agree to sell Pato for 15 million, reinvest that and play Simon Moore for a season. I'm happy with that. But no, Pato, you're all right today. I love you, Pato. I really do. I genuinely do. Ross, who stood out for you? Because I think, like Sophie said, there's quite a few you could pick out. I'm going to go for Roberts because, look, I'm a Patrick Roberts fanboy, Ross. I'm not going to deny it any longer. My stats back me up. Patrick Roberts is class. He'll always be class, and he's one of our most important players. But look, I'll let you talk about somebody else, Ross.
Well, it's no coincidence that after me and Pat Roberts shared a lift in the Metro Centre
I
at the
remember
start of
that.
the season, that he's went on to have his most productive season
Hmm.
for us in terms of goal contribution. So I'll take the assist on that one. Um, no, I think Roberts was brilliant today. I thought he was the best player on the pitch personally. But since everyone you both stole me thunder with me two players, a third one I'd say I thought Job had his best game in a long time in a Sunderland shirt. Um, I think maybe a spell away with England under 21s has probably given him a bit of a kick up the backside again because sometimes you can get comfortable in that midfield because it hasn't changed and it's not going to change because they're in there, you know what I mean? And they've earned it and they've been brilliant this season, but just something fresh, seeing some fresh ideas. He just looked a bit more, I don't know, I just felt like his intensity and tempo was much better today. And he obviously, the yellow card situation, he needs to stop that. That was a definite yellow card. Um, but yeah, I just thought Job had a really good game. And that'll be an extra £5 million, please, RB Leipzig, if rumours are to be to be believed.
I know, I know. I hate when the rumors come along, and I hate the fact that I have to consider it like it's my money. Like I'm going to get it. I'm not. I'm just going to get sad about it and have to hope someone else comes in that I hate thinking
It's
about it.
it's good
But
that our players are getting
yeah, it
looked
is.
at, but at the same time, I'm really getting bored of like every different news channel putting like, oh, he's going to Palace. Oh, should he go to Man United? Oh, he's going abroad. And then they're like, Riggs going to Tottenham, 40 odd million. And you're like, they're just plucking figures out of thin air. Just say that there's going to be interest in them and wait till the end of the season. Like, I know it's the jobs and they're just creating rumours or they're hearing stuff off agents. Agents are putting things forward, but I'm just bored of it all. Fair enough in pre-season when the window's open, but I'm just bored of hearing it all. And I'd love it if we got promoted through the playoffs and they just fucking stayed because everyone, what a waste of fucking time they would be, them articles, wouldn't it?
I'm not going to criticize any journalists with my profession and all that, but
I know I was meaning more the Twitter clickbait
no, I mean.
accounts, and you all know what I mean.
As a fan, mate, I get tired of hearing it as well. Like ultimately, like when a player will go at some point, I've lived through a life where unfortunately Kevin Phillips has been sold to Southampton for 3.5 million, and I don't think my heart will ever break in the same way ever again. So look, what will be will be. The football club's always going to be the football club, and that's what I support. But it's good to see that we've got players that seem to really give a shit about wearing that shirt and care about that club, and that improves their valuation. And unfortunately, in football, especially these days, players aren't one-player clubs anymore. But I wanted to ask you about, you've touched on Job being a yellow card there. I've just remembered something. Did you think Wilson's was a yellow card? I haven't watched it back, so look, it might be a red, but I thought if he pulled out that tackle, I'm going absolutely scatty because it would be him pulling out with 50-50. He wins the ball, then he's kind of going on a break, I think, if I remember correctly. And there was a big fuss about him maybe getting even a red card, and I was like, what's happening here? And then he got booked, and I was like, is that your? Was it just me that thought that was absolutely nothing?
It was never a booting. Like again, you're right. If he doesn't go for that, you're like, all right, and why are you just standing there? Why are you not challenging for that? You know what I mean? Like, aye, it's just another one of these referees. I'm sure who was the referee? It was a name on it. He'd been in the Premier League before.
Aye, it was
Madley.
it was
Aye, right. For legal purposes, I'm going to refrain from making any comments that could possibly be made. Um, and I'm sure you don't want to make an edit at 11:30 at night on a Saturday.
no.
However, one thing I would say is, to be fair, other than that decision, I didn't think he was that bad. And I
Nah, you're
know,
right.
and it's one of them games where, other than that yellow card, I don't think I can look at something and go, God, I can't believe the ref did that. I can't believe he did that. So this might just be me. People could be this can. Well, yeah, when he was bloody shite. Yeah, I'll list off loads of decisions, but I, but yeah, again, just some baffling decisions, and I'm sure you'll get on to another baffling decision that we should. I think now I'm gonna say it now. If we get given a penalty, we should ask for a corner instead. We have a higher success rate from scoring from corners than taking penalties this season, and I'm
That's
going to leave that out there.
something like that. We're all going to get onto it. before we do, let's talk about the time we did put the ball in the back net, Sophie. I am going to sound very Luke Williams here, former Swansea City manager, about short corners. I'm going to shock everyone here. I don't mind a short corner. Like I know some people say get it in, but the amount of times I see our players take corners and just loop it over everyone and put it out to play for a goal kick. I sometimes like when they go short because we're better when we play football. Fantastic corner today. I had a great view of it, the way Hume puts it in, but just a lovely piece of like play, wasn't it? So if it was a really nice goal to see happen, I think top of my head, I remember Key scoring at Fulham like in a 4-1 win, I think, and that was like a set piece routine. But it really sticks in your head when like you have those set piece routines because ultimately it makes you go, oh, they've been working on that in training and it's 100% work. But a lovely goal, Sophie, wasn't it?
Oh, it was. It was beautifully taken. But they're the types of goals, like you say, that you love to watch and you can watch over and over and over again. And I just saw the ball come in, but then I'd just seen I never actually saw the contact, I don't think. I just saw the back of the net ricochet. And yeah, it was just amazing. But like you say, when you know that they've worked on it, because I sit near the dugout, so I can see all the coaching staff, and they all were jumping up together. They had their arms around each other and everything. And I thought, yes, that's straight from the training ground. But like you say, our corners sometimes when they're just whacked in, and you think, what was the point in that? I'd rather have a throw in.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Do a thrower or something. But who doesn't love a volley? I love watching volley goals. I'll never forget, like, I think it was Wabi Kazri and them types of goals that he used to
Chelsea.
score. Yeah, yeah,
Ah,
exactly. I remember that one. But I just love volley goals. I love them.
miss Wabby Kazri because there's a man that could actually score a corner as well. He could score direct from
Yeah.
corners, he could score volleys. Wabby, where art thou? Um, come back. Moisey used to think you were fat, but I didn't. I thought you were class. Ross, look, we'll get on to it. The goal was great. I thought we should have won by more today. I thought we were a good team. Been a lot of discussion though, look, about O'Nien taking the penalty. Like, I'm not gonna lie, everyone around me was absolutely shocked. But me and Brad, weirdly enough, was speaking about it after Wilson did his double bollock, shall we say, down at Burnley. O'Nien's took 6 penalties for Sunderland in shootouts, which is a mad stat. So when he stepped up, I wasn't that surprised. The only one he's nearly missed was Lincoln, and he takes them all in that similar way. But there's like tons of discussion around should a nine have took it? You know, why they let no nine take it? Like why wasn't it X, Y, and Z? In my head, and maybe I'm too simple here, it's like, well, he's basically the captain. Like he's a club captain. He's experienced. He's took 6 penalties in more pressure situations and scored every one of them. Why wouldn't he? But in hindsight, please never take a penalty again, Luke Nine, because that was absolutely stinking. But look, we surprised it was 09 because I wasn't.
Do you know what? I thought, yeah, I was like, Wilson's got to take this.
Hmm.
A- And I, and to be fair, I probably would have been less nervous if Wilson stepped up, even though he'd missed his previous two, than I was when I seen Luke O'Nien pick the ball up. I was like, shit.
The whole stadium seemed to go, oh no, and I was
Oh,
like, he scored them before, it's fine. And then I went, buddy, you'll miss this one now. I've said it.
it's like it's one of them. And to be fair, they were all in shootout, so I think the shootout penalty's different. I don't know how it just is.
Someone said that day, but is it not different in a worse way? Like it's more pressurized.
But I think that's when Luke's good when he's got pressure on him and he's got to think about it. I feel like when he just strolls up to take a penalty,
Do you
it
see
was
these?
fucking terrible, wasn't it?
Have you seen his
It was.
Instagram post?
It was. And to be fair, the
I,
Instagram post I think is a risky move because
I think it's funny, man. Like
yeah, it
I
is.
think it's
I think
good.
it's funny, but I think other people will be thinking, what happens if you know what I mean? What happens if somehow, which it looks like Leeds shit the bed, Burnley shit the bed, and we miss out on one goal? You know what I mean? Something so stupid like that. And
I'm blaming Wilson.
ah,
Yeah, he missed two.
but at the
Robert
same
Smith's
time,
one against Sheffield United.
we have a genuine like we didn't realize how good we had it when we were getting penalties, and Jack Clark was just putting them in with his eyes closed, like did
Aye.
we? And we had Ross Stewart who would bury them. Ahmad used to
Mhm.
bury them. we went through a real good spell of where I think once we'd missed a penalty, Aidan McGeady, and he scored the rebound. I think that's all I can really think
Norwich?
of. Yeah, and
Martin
like,
Scott, where are
oh,
thou?
I think we've been quite lucky with good penalty takers, and all of a sudden it just seems like the whole team's it's the best team we've had in years. They just kind of take a penalty from 12 yards, but
Is Mickey
I,
Gray been in the Legends Lounge by any chance or something like that? Been chatting to them or
been rocking up the academy, hasn't he?
aye?
And he's
Oh,
another
Mickey.
in another new car. Sorry, that was uncalled for. Uh,
Driving in his Lamborghini.
but yeah, but to be fair, it'll be so Sunderland, right? We'll not score a penalty from open, well, I say it like from open play, but in like the league, and then we'll get to a penalty shootout in the playoffs, and we'll probably score every one. So as long as that happens, and it doesn't cost us any more big moments, but the one thing that was weird, and we've got to address it, is Mundle was so pissed off.
Yeah, what was that about? Like, what did he want to take the pen?
He did, yeah. And even Reggie's has come out after and went, no, it was planned before that. Luke was taking the penalty. And he's been taking them well in training. So maybe that's just, like, say, we forget how young and immature we are as a team. And he just got a bit carried away that, like, when he should play for your Sunderland team, I won the penalty, I'm taking it. However, man, I won it. You know what I mean?
I didn't
It's,
see what he did, and that like that's kind of sometimes maybe the disadvantage of me coming straight on and not really. I've watched the highlights, but it naturally doesn't show yet. But I've seen a lot of chat about it on Twitter that he's kind of like had a paddy, which he doesn't really seem that type, Mundle. And I was a bit
no.
like, eh.
When he came off as well, he seemed to, like, just, like, be a little huffed.
I thought he was
But,
good today as well. Like I thought he played really well today, Mundle. Like I'm excited when Mundle gets the ball. Like I'm not
I
gonna lie.
he's so raw, isn't he? Like,
Aye,
but I feel like that's why he's so hard to defend against because half the time he doesn't know what he's going to do next,
nah.
and they're trying to second guess him as a defender, which is obviously how he won the penalty in the first place. So yeah, it's a little thing, but you've got to address it. It is a bit strange, and hopefully, like I say, it's just a case of over exuberance, like he wanted to take the penalty, which is fine. Probably fucking should have.
I mean, when if a nine scores, he comes back in the dressing room, totally remain sitting there in the dressing room, being like, "Luke, chat." But here's another question for you, Sophie. This Wilson missed one, Roberts has scored one and missed one. Sorry, Wilson's missed two, and now Luke O'Nine's taken one. There's a lot of people saying, "Oh, Job should take them," but like, who takes the pen?
I think, see, I always think that Job should score more goals. I think he had a
Hmm.
couple of opportunities today when the ball fell to him and
Yeah,
it was took too long. I mean, I'm not against personally that offensive players have to take all the penalties. I'm just because if it gets to a situation in a playoff game, most of the players are gonna have to take a penalty, and that's what it comes down to. But possibly, I think that um, I don't know. I think Riggy should be taking some as well. That's what
what
I
about
think.
Trey? I'm kind of open to the Trey Hume suggestion.
I am like I say, I'm not feed about defensive players. That's why when Luke stepped up, I kind of thought this will either be the best penalty I've ever seen, or it's go to Mars,
Or it's that.
or it's that. It was neither. It was Secret Ocean number three, rubbish. But I don't know if it's already been decided for the team, and like with Mundle being, you know, not happy about it. I'm trying to say that as a positive thing. That
Yeah.
he wants to take it. It's the no fear thing, and maybe they need to have a discussion. The team need to have a discussion about possibly, I don't know, switching it up a bit. But I imagine that Reggie said that he'll deal with it internally. That him and Mundle will have a chat about it, didn't he? So.
Put him in detention.
Hmm.
Get in there, get in the detention right now.
On the Trey Hume thing though, he did I think it was for
Oh,
utility,
I did.
where a
You
little
tell her.
like I had like some sort of like YouTube thing where they do different challenges, and one of them was a penalty shootout, and Trey Hume, honestly, it is one of the best penalties I've ever seen. Again, it's not even in training, it's just a kick about, so it's totally different. To be fair, for all we know, Luke O'Nien could have been putting them into a corner and training all week, and that's why he got stepped up. But from that video alone, I think Trey Hume should take every penalty we ever win.
Or we could just send Jack Clark back and he can take them. But that would be nice. But we've had decent penalty takers. But look, you will both be too young to remember this. We had a period in 94, 95 where we just kept missing them. He missed two in one game against Palace and won 1-0. I think it was Martin Scott, who was a great penalty taker, missed one. And then Paul Bracewell, like experienced head, brilliant midfielder, played for England. He missed it as well, and then I think Phil Gray missed a penalty after that, and we just went through like a succession of defender missed one, experienced midfielder missed one, young boy misses one, and then we just got back into scoring them. I just think hasn't cost us today. Let's not worry about it too much.
On
If we,
that, Graham, sorry,
mm,
I just seen on Twitter before that Sunderland, that was the longest streak of missed penalties in the Championship,
uh,
and we've just broke that record today. So we've broke our own record of continuous streak of missed penalties in the Championship. We are
scored
brilliant.
scored one, missed four,
No, but a continue. So we've missed our last
four.
four. Yeah.
Roberts,
So.
Wilson, O'Nien.
hmm
Oh boy, I mean,
So we're good at that.
yeah. I said, let's not worry about it. Let's worry about it. Let's panic. Let's all shit ourselves. Think about it for weeks and go, oh no, this is all going to be disastrous. Or we could
If we
just,
play Burnley in the playoffs, I'm like fucking nil
oh
nil
nah.
this, nil nil this. Fucking get it to pens. We've got it in the bag.
So collectively, who we're deciding takes the next pen? You know what? I'm okay with the Trey Hume suggestion.
My ender.
No, nah, no, I'm not having it. I think we stay with Hume or we go Job. Safe option. I mean, is there a
Mm,
safe option? I don't
I
know.
don't know.
Could there be a safe option? Will there be a?
We definitely are at that part of the season now where we win and we're just like play us yet because we're talking about what just going through the team just thinking about if we get a penalty, if we get a honestly if we get a penalty in the playoffs, I'm going to the toilet. I'm not watching it. I'm sick of them. I think maybe we just all just turn around and don't look. Then if we miss it, never happened.
Someone said on Twitter, I feel like O'Nien's extreme self-confidence has led him to taking the penalty. That inner belief has shaded his decision making. Nobody objectively thinks him taking that penalty was a good decision. Team outcomes before individuals, please. I do understand that. I understand what you're saying, but I honestly think O'Nien's gone, well, I've taken six and scored six. Why not? Like I can understand the rationale behind it. When he stepped up, I felt like I was the only one in the stadium that was like, okay, that sort of makes sense. Everyone else was like, oh, what's he doing? It's 09. Everyone's going absolutely nuts. And I was like, he scored, I think, like six or something. I think I said five, but I was like, I knew he'd done it. And I was like, eh? Like, it's not that weird. But then my body also, like, took the negativity from the rest of the ground and went, he's missing this, by the way. Like, everyone around me can guarantee that I went, now I've said that, he's missing that. But there's a couple of listeners' questions we've got. I don't know whether I agree with this one, Sophie, but a few people have asked because I thought he played all right today. The few people are saying, "How do we get the best out of Wilson Isidor again?" I thought he was all right today.
I mean, I thought he was all right. Like, you know what? Before the game, I did say, I said it to my brother, I said it to my dad that I would play Wilson today just because of the sheer physicality of Millwall. You know, they've got their back line is meant it's like giants. So I thought that he played well at like in terms of holding the ball up and being an outlet because there were times in that game where we had to go along because of kind of the man marking that was going on. They were trying to stretch us a bit and have make us go long and go kind of one dimensional. But I mean, I thought he was all right, but I think that he had an opportunity, didn't he, where he headed it pretty much straight at the goalkeeper, and the goalkeeper had reacted to it. But I don't know. I think as an outlet, he played well. Obviously, he didn't score a goal, which is what most people want him to want him to do. I want
Yeah, of
him to
course.
do, and that's what it comes down to. And but it was a game. It was a game where we did have opportunities, but they just didn't fall right to him. Maybe I don't know. I don't necessarily see Wilson scoring the type of goals like tap-ins and stuff like that. He's more likely to get the ball on the halfway line and run all the way down and or score a worldie or like a Thierry Henry type of player. But yeah, I thought it was all right. I don't think there's any need to kind of criticise his performance massively.
I thought it was all right. There's quite a few people have asked and said, "What's wrong with Wilson?" I thought he was all right today. I thought he should have scored in the first minute. I can kind of half forgive it because of how early it was and it was a bit of a tight angle. But I thought Wilson did okay today. I understand my end is like flavor of the month, and I'm fine with that because he's flavor of my month as well. Like I love him. Like I think he's great, and I thought his run when he came on's excellent. He's still kind of raw, but in that wonderful way, like we said with Mundle before. But like the lads that play for Millwall are huge, and I thought he gave him a bit of a time today. And I think the header was kind of unlucky. I think if the keeper doesn't pull off the save he pulls off, it goes in. But at the same time, I think he just got a little bit too over it. Like he should have headed it down. And
Down.
but I suppose I'm being picky. Like ultimately, I thought Wilson was all right today. So it's like for the people asking what's wrong with Wilson and how do you get the best out of him? Someone answered it really well. I don't think there's anything up with him, so it's difficult for me to answer that because I don't agree with that viewpoint that he looked off today. Doesn't mean I'm right, but I understand that some people felt he was off. I didn't. But the question, what can we do to get the best out of him? I can give you 3 words for that. I don't know if you agree with me on this, Ross, but it starts in Enzo and it ends in Fee, and the middle bit's Lee. Lee Fee? You know what I meant. The lad that we got from Roma.
Yeah, he could be the missing ingredient, couldn't it? Look, he showed that a Borough way at that ball through, little stuff like that. Proofs in the pudding. Um, yeah, you know what? It's mad. Like we've never had one game this season where we've had everyone available,
No, still
and
plays missing.
we've never had a fully fit squad at all, at any game this season. It's crazy because even when you think about the start, we still had defenders missing.
Yeah.
And we had the Nate when everyone was fit in midfield. Neil got sent off at Watford. Even going back then, and yeah, but I think Lefay could be massive for the end of the season, no doubt about
Yeah,
it.
I think the fate's enormous. I think Dan Ballard, I hope he comes back and gets a few games in before the playoffs. I think Ballard's an important player to have. Look, out speaking to that Millwall fan beforehand, and we spoke for like a good half, and I'm saying that Millwall fan, Alex, my mate Alex, who's a Millwall fan, by the way, not that Millwall fan. He's from that Millwall podcast, but he's actually a mate. He was like, we chatted for like an hour or so afterwards, like off air, and he was just saying, oh, I love Dan Ballard, like, is he injured? Like, what's he not playing for? And I was like, oh, he's out for a few weeks, and he was just like waxing lyrical about him. And I know maybe like the ambitions of where Millwall are a bit different where we are at the minute because they're still kind of regrouping and getting used to a new manager and Neil Harris leaving for the 100th time. But at the same time, I think you sometimes forget how important the likes of Ballard are and stuff like that. And we've missed Lafie for ages. We've missed Mundle for ages. He's only just getting back to it. So look, there's players there. I think it was Julie, I think, that answered it. She answered it for me. And that was the best way to answer it. She said the best way to get the way that we get the best out of Wilson is Enzo Lefay, and I 100% agree with that. But let's end it with a silly one. I know sometimes people don't like silliness in a like serious football conversation. Tough, don't care. The listens have gone down anyway, so who gives a shit? Do you know what I mean? Just get them further down until we could just casually dissolve the podcast. But they've asked what's our favorite flavor of crisps. Uh, I think that's quite tough. That do you know what I really like, but I don't see them anymore. Can you remember those ones that came in like this is gonna sound wrong, but they were like a cardboard sort of material, and they were called mustard something, mustard crisps. I'm gonna Google it while you tell me what your favorite
To
flavor
be
crisps
fair,
are. Ross.
Graham, I think you're forgetting that you've got like of the team that we've got, me and Sophie are them like the youngest ones there. So if they're anything, you know what I mean. I'm trying to think of myself. To be fair,
Brannigan's. That's it, Brannigan's. I can't. I've never seen them for ages, but they were called Brannigan's. Brilliant, really
uh,
nice, really
not for
beefy,
me. But to be fair, I've got to be honest. My favorite, basic as you get, but bacon rashes. Kind of knock them like,
like Frazzles.
aye.
Aye. I get that. Like, I also like French fries, like the
Yeah, I can
yeah,
say that.
like cheese and onion
Yeah.
specifically.
And the,
Pringles as well. Pringles.
yeah, a specialty crisp like when when the Christmas comes out and you get like all of the special Christmas flavors ones. You know what I mean? Like when this
Pigs
spruce
and
them up.
blanket ones. You look like a
Aye,
man that likes like bacon crisps.
aye.
Yeah.
How's the bacon? Did you see?
How's the bacon, did you say?
Oh, and Sophie, what's yours? There's gonna be something like I don't know. I just feel like it'll either be very simple or very posh here.
Yeah.
Well, I love uh salt and vinegar McCoys.
Mm,
They are top level, but do you know discos? You know discos?
yeah, yeah, and
Strong
discos.
cocktail discos.
Oh,
See, they are lush. But I do like Space Raiders as well. That's my guilty pleasure. I love Space Raiders.
I cannot eat Space Raiders because I keep looking at them and think that looks like Miguel Almiron. Like he looks like a Space Raider, he always has. And I know he's gone elsewhere. He's gone to Atlanta, but I still look at him and just go, oh, Space
Does that
Raider
not make you
Almiron.
want to eat them more?
Makes me want to poke
I'm
their eyes out, and
violence.
that just damages the crisps. Like
No one
prod them
go
out.
around Graham's house. He's got loads of Space Raiders crushed.
I'm just standing on. I was going to say stabbing there. I've never stabbed the back of the Space Raiders for what it's worth, but okay, I'm happy with Space Raiders. That's fine. There's another one that you used to get. They weren't called Space Invaders, but they were like of a similar ilk. Knickknacks as well, nice and spicy. But look, I like crisps. Like I'm absolutely full of crisps. That'll only land for some people, but it's a very good video for me.
Come on, end on one question.
Aye,
What color packet should cheese and onion crisp be?
blue, blue.
Green for me, like.
Yeah,
No,
green. Always green.
no, blue.
Mm. I
Walkers
knew I
Walkers get to decide what they want to do, right? They can do whatever they want. Walkers are crisp gods. In the world of crisps, walkers are like they know what they're doing with it. Although when you do eat a packet of cheese and onion Walkers crisps, it does remind me of 1999 2000 Leicester City because that's just what the kit looked like. But anyway, I've gone on a tangent here. I hope you're all
we
enjoying your crisps at home on this Sunday morning whenever you're listening to it.
we did win 1-0.
And we won, we did. And I've realized I'm really old because people don't know what Brannigans are. Thanks very much for joining, Ross and Sophie. Get yourselves to sleep, and I'll try and get me nana nap in.
I'm starving now. I'm gonna get some crisps before I go to
At least I haven't fell asleep.
bed.